Well guys, they fucking did it. They introduced a character that's way too goddamn strong. You know, I don't know what I was really expecting because this shit happens all the time in games like this especially. Kind of reminds me of Overwatch when they would introduce a new character and it was way too busted. But honestly, Reyna's not too busted. There's not that much that makes her insanely good. It's her kit is just so goddamn good. There's so much in her kit that she can utilize to actually win rounds, and that's what makes her so fucking good. She has a huge arsenal, and pretty much every one of her abilities is insanely good. Her heal is crazy. It is LOS given, so you can't really stand in a certain angle if you're getting shot at and use it, but if you are to use it while there's nobody peeking and you get peeked, you are overhealed and you just fucking demolish people with it. Her ultimate is also insanely good. It's basically a constant brimstone stim, and not only that, but every time you get a kill you heal, and it lasts for so goddamn long. It's a very long ultimate. Her movement speed gets buffed insanely, so once you get a kill while using her ultimate, you can just speed the fuck away like fucking Lightning McQueen. It's actually such a crazy ability. I'm gonna quickly break down each one of her abilities, and after that I'm going to talk about why each one is so strong and maybe suggest what they could do to potentially change her. I've only played Reyna so far. Since the game has come back out, I have only played Reyna. I have not played a single game on a different character. I've played about 20 games of Reyna, and I can say without a doubt that she is such a good fucking character. She is unreal with the way you can actually play her. So I'm going to talk about her. Let's get started. So when they were creating Reyna, I'm assuming what they had in mind was a duelist that could not only win 1v1s, but had a very high potential for team play. She's a mix of Jett and Phoenix, which is why I enjoy playing her so much, because I like the mobility of Jett. I just don't like playing Jett because she's kind of useless in my opinion, given they did buff her, and that buff was a very solid buff. And the Phoenix, her flashbang, in my opinion, is much better than Phoenix's. Yes, it can be shot, but that requires the enemy team to actually be peeking the angle. Given if there's two people in the angle, it's very hard for you to actually secure the kill because they can just shoot your orb that you throw. Right now, I'm talking about her main ability, her flashbang, which costs 200 credits. And you can get 2 of them per round. Basically how it works is you can throw it through walls, you can line it up, you can throw it super high in the sky, and if it is on the enemy's screen, they are pretty much completely blind, like Omen Paranoid blind, which is insanely blind. You can throw it, instantly swing out, and potentially secure a kill, which is very strong. The main downfall to this, and what they were trying to do, is make it so the fact that she pretty much be countered by shooting it. The problem with that is if it comes out of absolutely nowhere, and if the Reyna is quick enough to capitalize on it, because you don't really get much of a cue for when this thing is coming. So if the Reyna is quick enough to capitalize on it and you are in a bad position, like say you're walking out of sight and you're trying to reposition and that flashbang comes out, you have no option but to shoot it. And if it's super high in the sky, if the Reyna aims it well enough, then you have to move your crosshair so far to actually shut it down, making it almost impossible for you to actually win that 1 versus 1. That's only if the Reyna is quick enough, of course, and that's kind of what they were going for. The Reyna has to be very quick, and if you are quick enough, you can actually shut it down. But in my opinion, the Reyna has the option to be much too quick when she's actually using this ability. She can throw it and almost instantly peek out. The recovery time is pretty quick. So Reyna has a very good option to actually use this and actually secure kills almost immediately after throwing it. Now next up is her heal ability. And basically, whenever you get a kill, an enemy drops a soul. And you have 2 options with this soul, and you have 4 charges, I believe. And what you can do is, if you get a kill and you are low on health, you can instantly pretty much pick up that soul, given it only lasts for a second, which is a very good idea to only let it last for a second, because if those souls stuck around for longer than a second, the Reyna has much more to work with there. So the amount of time given that the soul is on the ground is actually pretty good, and it's not too strong, solely for the fact that it doesn't last very long. But if the Reyna actually, instantly makes a decision and knows what they want to do when they get the kill, then that's where she really shines. I've noticed that in a lot of rounds when I'm getting extremely aggressive and I get one kill and I pop that heal, say I've lost 60 or 70 health, that includes my armor, I can instantly capture the soul and just stand there in the open and wait for them to peek me, and I'm overhealed to 150 HP, and if they peek me and damage me, I am still healing for like another second. It's honestly crazy. Now, obviously, the main downfalls to this is the amount of time the souls actually last on the ground. The fact that you have to LOS it, if you unpeak, say you get swung and you need to unpeak, you are no longer healing. So that uses one of your charges and you have lost the healing potential. Now also, your position is revealed once you pick up a soul, because there is a big umbilical cord fucking going to your body after you pick up the soul orb. So honestly, they really did try and balance this ability, and it shows. Like, you can tell they really tried to balance this. But in my opinion, the fact that you have two options with this ability makes it so insanely strong, and the fact that you heal so quick, and not only that, but you can get armor back for a temporary amount of time, which is something we haven't seen in the game yet. We've seen Sage heal, which can heal players on your team back to full, but you cannot get your armor back. The fact you can overheal and get your armor back is actually insanely strong. Now we're going to talk about the flip side to her heal ability, which is her phase ability. Now, right now, basically what I'm doing is I'm just sitting at my computer. I just fucking woke up, and I'm literally just listing off these abilities from memory. So if I get any of this wrong, but I'm pretty certain right now, I am explaining the abilities without a problem. So just know that if I say anything wrong, please correct me. Now, her phase ability, I don't know the name for it off the top of my head because I don't pay attention to the names of the stupid ass abilities. So anyways, this ability shares charges with your heal. So you have 4 charges over the heal and your dismiss, which is the reposition ability, and you just share. It's a shared pool, right? 4 charges for both of these abilities. Now, what this ability allows you to do is to capture an orb and go invisible and speed up very fast for a limited period of time. And not only are you invisible, but you are invulnerable, so you cannot be killed. Now, I don't really need to talk about why this ability is good as fuck, but obviously I'm talking about it at the end, and I'm going to talk about what you can do to use this ability and what makes it so strong in the first place. So to start off, I'm going to list off her abilities one by one, and I'm going to pick them apart, say things you can do with them, and give my opinion on whether or not I think it's a fair and balanced ability. So we're going to start with Devour, which is her heal ability. And once you get a kill, these souls last on the ground for 3 whole seconds. So you have a little bit of leeway to actually decide what you want to do. Now, the thing with her Devour is it heals at such a high rate that if you are quick enough and you pick this orb up, you can just stand there with your dick on the table and take gunfights one by one as they peek you. Now, if you get swung by multiple people, obviously you can still get killed, but you are much stronger than a regular player in their base form. If you are taking like a spray fight, you will generally win that fight. If you land all your shots and they land all their shots, generally you will win that fight. You will win that engagement. Before I talk more about her abilities, I want to talk about the character herself. Reyna is meant to be played by people with a very aggressive playstyle that tend to put themselves in bad positions, which is something I do very often. I will generally overextend quite often, and this is why I like this character so much, because I like going for stupid ass kills that should never work out in my favor. But now that I have the opportunity to go for these dumb, risky kills and actually safely escape, this character is like the perfect character for me to play, and for other people that have similar playstyles to me, where they're extremely aggressive and they take these fights that they should not be able to escape from after getting these kills. This is why I enjoyed playing Phoenix, is because I could take a fight and instantly I could flashbang and get myself out of there. Now, this character is better at doing that. You can instantly reposition out of a bad one and done angle or out of an overextended angle. Not only that, but I consider myself, obviously the world's best clutch player. And this character shines so much in clutch situations because she can maneuver on the bomb site and force the enemies to take 1v1s on her, which is insanely good. Because if you get that first kill and you move to a different area where you know there is an enemy isolated, you can keep picking them off over and over. You can keep repositioning by the use of your dismiss ability, and you can just keep moving around back and forth to different angles, and you can be very unexpected in doing so. It's so strong, and combined with her ultimate, She basically zooms around the map like fucking Barry Allen, and she can just go to different angles that fucking quick. So that's basically how Reyna's playstyle can complement a person's playstyle, such as myself. Extremely aggressive, very risky player, goes for plays a lot. This complements me almost perfectly, and it's insane. I didn't expect a character to be this in tune with the way I play the game. So it's very exciting for somebody like me. Obviously, I know she's probably going to get changed quite a bit over the next week or so, but either way, the way her abilities are used, I really do love them. So anyways, moving on from the way she is generally played, I'm only going to scrape on it. I'm not going to go super in depth. I'm going to make a Reyna guide probably in a couple weeks once the character's been out long enough for me to actually play her in ranked, and hopefully by then ranked is out. But once I get the ability to play her in ranked, and not only that, once I have a firm foundation on the way she should actually 100% be played, because right now I'm just kind of theory crafting like the way she should be played based on what I've seen through like the last 20 games I've played on her. Obviously, some of these things I may be a little bit off on because, you know, I've only played like 20 games on her. And yes, you know, I am a fucking genius, but I can't see the goddamn future. I don't know what I'm going to actually think about her in 100 games, 200 games from now, you know, when I make the, obviously, when I make the world's best Reyna player guide, you know. So I guess we'll see when that comes, but for now, this is just my personal opinion on her and how I feel about her as a character. So anyways, summing up her heal, it's very good. It heals you extremely quick. You have 4 potential charges on it. Not only that, but you can basically raid boss an entire engagement, and you can sit there and heal while taking engagements. And also, you don't even fucking need a sage when you're playing her. Like, obviously, it's good to have a sage on the team. That's not what I'm saying. As a Reyna player, you don't have to rely on a sage to actually get heals. If you get a kill, you can easily heal yourself back to full, and you can keep on fighting. And that's what's so good about her. You have the potential to keep that tempo up. Once you get a kill, you can keep that tempo up, and you can kind of snowball yourself through a round and keep getting frags. The big thing about Reyna that I have noticed is it very much so relies on you actually getting kills, because outside of her flashbangs, the only way you can actually use her abilities is if you get kills. So it relies heavily on you being a solid player that can potentially pick up frags and keep that momentum going. You want to be a very aggressive player as Reyna. You want to be basically that entry fragger that keeps momentum, keeps going, keeps fragging, keeps clearing angles, and just high speed, high tempo, constantly on top of it. Now, next up is her dismissal ability, or dismiss, I guess. I don't know why it's called dismiss. It should be called dismissal. That'd be a much cooler name, in my opinion. But moving on. Next up is her dismiss. And what you can do with this ability is once you get a kill, and if you need to instantly get out, say you are swung wide into an angle, you can pick up that orb and you can fly the fuck out of that angle and get to a different angle safely. It's very good if you use it with her ultimate, and it's also very good at its base form. It doesn't last very long, but it's very good for intel, and it's very good to get a kill and get out safely by taking a off angle that is very unexpected for you to be actually playing at, and then just swiftly moving away to a different angle. Now, one way I like to play this ability is I will get a kill, and if I am close up, I will use the ability, I will swing into the angle, and I will like deep clear that fucking angle and see how many are there, and I will instantly fall back to a safe angle. You have to be very quick, and you have to be in the right position to actually do something like this. But if you are in the right position to actually safely do this, it's very strong. You can see how many people are there, and you will basically know, like, hey, these guys look like they're about to fucking push. So generally, once you get a kill and you invis and you clear that angle, you will basically get the intel knowing whether or not they will push. You will know how many are there. And now the big thing with this is it's very risky because it doesn't last very long. So you need to actually be very consciously aware of how long you have on that ability and how long you actually have to clear the angle. Now, it can be used like that. This is only one of the potential ways you can use this ability. Like I said, it's very good for repositioning to other areas very quickly. Now, this makes her extremely strong in 1vx situations because, like I said in my clutch video, it is very important that you take 1 versus 1 engagements, and you are constantly moving around the bomb site to different angles. If there are 3 people on the site, you want to constantly take 1vx's, and you want to constantly just move to different angles that you can actually get frags from. And not only that, but once you get a kill, and if you reposition and you are on the bomb site, you can clear like the whole bomb site. You can pretty much clear the whole goddamn bomb site and get to a safe angle before you get exposed, and then you can get another kill and clear it again. Like, it's crazy. Now, coupled with her ultimate, when she's moving like Speed Racer, this shit is so good because she can fly around angles and just check shit so quickly. Now, given there is a recovery time on it, that is one of the main downfalls to it. There is a recovery time, so you can't just, you know, become uninvisible like while there's an enemy staring at you, because you will probably fucking die. But it's still very strong in that regard, in the fact that you can just fly around angles, clear them, and you can get to other angles. You can play one and dones, you can play super aggro positions, and you can get the fuck out of there super quick. Now, before we talk about her ultimate, we have one last ability to cover, and this ability, of course, is going to be her flashbang, the one everyone fucking hates. Now, this thing blinds you to the point of an omen paranoia, and it lasts for as long as the orb is on the enemy's screen until they destroy it. Now, if they unpeak the angle, they can very easily just avoid the flashbang. But if they're in a position where they cannot escape, this is an extremely strong ability, and it is extremely hard for the enemies to deal with. Because if you throw it right, and key term, you have to throw it right to actually make this effective. You don't want to throw it like instantly where they're going to be looking so they can instantly just shoot it. What I have been doing is I've been either throwing it at the ground or throwing it barely around the corner at the ground or throwing it super high in the sky, just because the point of it is, if you want to actually aggressively use this, you have to make sure that you are forcing the enemy player to move their crosshair as far as potentially possible to actually destroy the orb. Now, the thing with this is, with enemy teams, if there are 2 or 3 of them in the angle, it's very hard to communicate like who's going to shoot the orb. So you have the potential to have all 3 of the players actually move their crosshair away from the angle they were watching to try and shoot that orb. Now, it is very quickly destroyed. I don't know how much health it has exactly. I'd assume somewhere around like 50 to 25 health. Usually, if there's three or more people in the angle, it's going to be destroyed almost instantly. So keep track of that. And it's very good if you want to just take one kill. And if you know there's an enemy in a bad position, you can throw this shit in the most inconvenient ass place for them to look, and they will have to actually destroy it, and you can swing on them and get the kill pretty quickly. Now, this can go through walls. Also, if you look on the minimap, it's going to have a little marker showing you exactly where it's going to go. So use this sparingly. You only have 2 charges, but the thing with this is you can very aggressively clear out bomb sites with this. You can throw it like pretty much in the middle of sight, and you can clear as many angles as potentially possible, and even to the point where you can have like a Sova throw in his dart and he will clear like the blind spots out, the dead zones out that you cannot see behind. And not only that, you will be able to set yourself up in a position where you can hold the angle that you know the enemy is going to peek from once you actually have that bomb site cleared. This is very good for clearing out certain angles on attack. It's good on defense, but I would argue to say that it's much better on attack. Now, is this ability overpowered? In my opinion, no, it's not. I do see a little bit of an issue with the fact they have to destroy it, and the fact that you have such a good opportunity to actually capitalize on enemies that have overextended, and you have so much ability to actually clear out angles with it. It's very good in that regard. I don't think it's overpowered though. Now, moving on from her flashbang, whatever the fuck you want to call it, we're going to talk about her ultimate, and her ultimate is fucking insane. Now, given you can still be killed with it, but every character aside from Phoenix can be killed while using their ultimate. Now, with her ultimate, basically what you get is a permanent, or not permanent, but a stim beacon on Brimstone that lasts for ages. You shoot faster, you move faster, you reload faster, you use abilities faster. And not only that, but you have infinite soul harvest abilities. So you have an infinite amount of heals, and you have an infinite amount of repositions. Now, the thing with this is every time you get a kill, your ultimate timer resets. So you have the potential to be in this ability for the entire fucking round. Now, honestly, I would argue to say that the fact that it resets every time you get a kill is a little bit too strong. And I feel like that should definitely be changed. Because if she can stay in this mode for the entire round, she is just a tank. She is insanely good. She is too good. Now, it can run out if you don't see any action, so you have to really time this ability right. Now, the thing with this is I feel like every time she gets a kill, it should just add on to the timer. It shouldn't completely reset it. It should add like 5 or 6 seconds onto it. This ability, the fact that you are basically over buffed completely, you have infinite abilities, you are extremely fast, you can reposition super fast, it's just a little bit too strong in my opinion. And the fact that once you get a kill, you instantly start healing, you don't even have to go out of your way to actually like heal. you can constantly be taking these engagements, and if you feel you are about to die, you can instantly zip out of there, and you will probably be back on full health because you were healing at that time. So in my opinion, this ultimate is a little bit too strong. It's just a little bit too strong. But honestly, like, let me know what you guys think. If you think it's, perfectly balanced, then let me know. Like, I'm not gonna mock you in the comments. I actually want to know everyone's opinion on these abilities. Personally, I think it's a bit too strong. Now, overall, is the character overpowered? Now, this one is a bit tough. Is she overpowered? I'd say slightly. She needs some changes, but at the same time, they shouldn't nerf her into the ground, because she is very good, yes, and she has such a wide arsenal. But the fact that you have to actually get kills and have to actually perform to use her is one of the big things. But the thing is, right, if you are a player that tends to pop off often, you have the ability to gain so much momentum while playing this character. This character is an enabler for good play. That's the thing. I wouldn't say she's overpowered, but she has a bit too much in her kit, and she has a little bit too much leeway with the way she can actually use her abilities. The heal is a little bit too strong. The reposition is perfectly fine the way it is, in my opinion. I feel like that should not be changed at all. Maybe give it a little bit more time, honestly. And her flashbang is also, a very solid ability that I do not believe should be changed very much, because it's very easily countered, and the main use for it is to clear out certain angles and to punish people. And I feel like that's a very solid flashbang. It's a very different flashbang from typical flashbangs we see in games like in Counter-Strike, or like the Phoenix curveball or the breach flash. It's not too strong. And the fact that you can just, unpeak and you're not blind anymore, like, it doesn't last on your screen if you're not in LOS of it, that's a very good way to actually kind of nerf it. So this character is not insanely strong, but the big things that need to be changed is maybe the healing output needs to be changed, and maybe, just potentially, now don't get mad at me when I say this, but just potentially, they could split her healing ability and her reposition ability into two different abilities, like two different charge pools. That way you don't have as many options, and you have to kind of, decide, do I want to use two of these and two of these? It gives you a little bit less options, so you can't just use like 3 or 4 repositions in a round as opposed to not healing if you don't actually need the heal. So it basically forces you, to have it split in half, and you only really have the potential to use 2 for each of the abilities. I feel like this would be a very solid change. I'm not sure if it would actually nerf her too much though. Now, her ultimate also is a little bit too strong, in my opinion. You get so many buffs, and it's so insane the amount of buffs you get for a 6-charge ultimate, and the fact that it can last the entire round is so fucking crazy, and the fact that you get unlimited abilities while using it is also insane. So they need to figure out a way to slightly tone this down just a bit, and I think a good way of doing that would to be making it so the timer doesn't completely reset, but it just adds on a little bit of time each time you get a kill. That's just my personal opinion, though. Obviously, like I said earlier, I need a little bit more time to experience this character and actually experiment with her and play with her even more. So we will see where I feel and where I stand on this character, given the way she will be changed. She will most likely be changed ever so slightly. So in a couple weeks, if ranked is out, I want to make another video on this topic and actually talk about this a little bit more in depth. Obviously cut down on the time a little bit, because this video is 23 minutes and 53 fucking seconds right now. So I cut down on the time just a tad, just slightly, and we'll see where we are at that point. So anyways, this has been my in-depth talk about Reyna, my impression on her personally, the way I play her, and a good way you can actually play her, and if she should be nerfed or not. So I appreciate you guys. If you stuck around for 24 minutes, talk shit on those guys that, they left the video early. Go ahead and talk shit on them, because honestly, if I'm sitting here for 30 minutes, you have to fucking sit here for 30 minutes. All right, well, that's all I wanted to talk about. Y'all have a good day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye.